Hold on, let me turn my hearing aid up.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome!
Welcome.
Welcome to the Everything and Chill Show. I'm Rob. This week I have a special guest, Sean Montero.
Hello, everyone. How you doing?
Who is a semi-expert on comic books and comic culture. Are you a full expert? Have you been to the 4-year comic book university?
Have you?
Maybe I have. I never claimed to be an expert. I'm trying to give you credit. Okay. Anyway, this week we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're definitely going to talk a little bit about WandaVision, but we don't want to talk too much about it for people who haven't seen it yet. But I will tell you that according to Screen Rant, they are now, and it's been multiple publications, but Screen Rant, I'll say, has now said that WandaVision is the #1 show in the world. Not just in America, but in the entire world. It's the #1 show. So everybody who's anybody is watching this show. And it's good, right?
It's really good. It's, the narrative after Endgame was that, the MCU doesn't have anywhere to go after this or whatever, and then they come out with a banger like WandaVision that was not supposed to, in people's eyes,
right,
do good. It was supposed to just be another sideshow like S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever.
Right.
And it surpassed the caliber of even the Netflix shows.
Yes.
So to see that, and that's just the one show. That's not
right.
What is it? Falcon, Winter Soldier. That's not Loki. That's not all the other movies they have. That's just this show, and it's the #1 best show, most watched show in the U.S. right now.
Right, and they leave you each week on a cliffhanger. This week coming up in a couple of days will be the season finale. I don't want to say the series finale. There has been no talks of a second season yet, but it being so successful, I'm sure there's going to be a second season in the works. Marvel would be
out of their mind to not go and make a second season.
Right. Even if it's not called WandaVision, but spin off into something else where whatever they do. But they've conquered the movie world. They've conquered the cinema and the theaters and selling out the lines and all this. And now they're conquering the streaming world. Disney Plus, since its debut last year, in 2019, I'll say that late 2019 with The Mandalorian coming on TV, they've been crushing it. And they slowly have gathered all their old Disney. Now they've added all the Fox stuff. And now internationally they have Disney Plus Star, which gives more of the Fox stuff that they don't have on the regular Disney Plus. It's not available here in the US yet, but I heard it will be. But now Marvel's doing these television shows that are going right to the streaming service. They're not going to ABC where they were premiering their shows before. They're not going to Netflix anymore. They're going to Disney Plus, and WandaVision, their first show out of the gate. Boom! And I've been talking about this almost every week now. WandaVision is the show to sit down and watch, not only by yourself, but it's a good family show. I know really families that are watching it that are continuing the story that's come from the Avengers Endgame, Infinity War Endgame, and into this, and seeing where it's going to take the MCU next. And if you don't know what the MCU is, it stands for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, tune in on this Friday, whatever time, because it comes out at 3 a.m., so whatever time you want to tune in, that's a great thing, and watch WandaVision. And it is the last episode, so I'm sure a lot of people will be binge watching the whole 9 episodes all in one.
That was my plan to do, but was to wait until the 9 episodes came out to watch everything. But avoiding spoilers and all of that became difficult as the episodes came, and right. I even myself got curious as to oh my goodness, no one will stop talking about this show,
right? And
so I had to find out for myself earlier, and even though it was confusing at first of what was going on, it looked like, oh, what is this? What's the hype about? Then you keep going in the show and you're like, oh my goodness, poof, it all makes sense. So
I'll tell you what, after next week, I will be giving spoilers. So next week's episode, we will talk about the whole season of WandaVision. Whatever we see in Friday's episode, where it leads to, whatever is going on, we will talk about it. So that's a warning now for next week. If you didn't watch it by next week, there will be spoilers, okay? So, on to our next subject, quickly, because my friend here, Sean, has not got to see this latest episode of Superman and Lois, but what a show this is for the CW. And I said this on episode 2, that this could be the shot for them to, I don't like to use the term reboot, but reboot all the shows on the CW with using the same character, the same actors playing those characters. Grant Gustin playing the Flash. Stephen Amell could come back and play something from time to time the way they're doing this. And the way, if you've been watching the show, I'm not going to go spoilers, they're setting it up somehow that a multiverse still exists. That's how they're setting it up. I'm not going to say too much more on that because I don't want to give away this week's episode at all. But there's something different about this show, even the way it looks. I was pointing that out to Sean yesterday when I was watching it, that he looked at it briefly, and I said it looks different. It doesn't look like the CW universe shows.
I was thinking more about that, what it looks like. I don't know if you remember, but on the Flash season 2, when they went to Earth 2, I'm kind of getting that kind of visualization from it. Now, I'm not saying they're on Earth 2, but what I am saying is that I can somehow agree with you on that.
Right.
Because not only that, but if you paid attention to the Flash, there were some hints at multiverse things. So we already know that they're all on the same Earth. Now, certain aspects of the show are a little bit different and don't make sense. But then again, when you look at Crisis and everything, and what came after that, that messed up 3 trillion changes. So this could all be, it could all be things that in the show, to them, what to us is like new. To them, it's already been, cemented. They've dealt with it. They've had this, obviously we can't go into it because of spoilers and stuff like that. But when you
I'll tell you this. We're not going to talk with that Superman and Lois. You haven't seen it, so we're not going to talk about it. But, and I don't want to spoil WandaVision, but I guarantee you not as many people tuned in Tuesday to see The Flash as they have been in previous seasons. I know it's died down a lot, so we will talk about The Flash. The Flash is doing something interesting. You can tell they're rebooting their characters basically because a lot of the old characters are leaving the show, are not season regulars like they used to be. You have a lot of characters that have left the show because of reasons with management there, or getting fired, or pursuing other avenues, things like that. But we've noticed that they're bringing on these other characters to take their place in the Team Flash. And we also noticed that this week there was one actor, Tom Cavanaugh, his character, who every season usually changes character, if you've been paying attention to the show, to a different Harrison Wells of the different multiverse. Because of last year, the multiverse being gone, he had to stay Nash Wells. But at the end of this episode, and I'll give it, here's a spoiler alert right here. Spoiler alert. He sacrifices himself to build the artificial speed force for Barry to gain his powers back.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I do know that you said that, but Tom Cavanaugh confirmed he's not done with the show.
I'm not saying he's done with the show.
Yeah, no, I know, but do expect another version of Harrison Wells to come back.
That's what I'm saying, though, is that however they do it, you see that they're changing things.
Yes,
they have a new guy kind of take Cisco's spot. They have a new guy to kind of take Caitlin's spot. Well, not as a doctor, but...
Yeah.
And they're still battling this Mirrorverse right now. But the CW shows are all coming back. I haven't been into them as much, but the one thing I do want to talk about is a character by the name of John Diggle, who was on Arrow since its premiere in 2011, 2012?
2013.
2013 is when it premiered?
2013, 2012, 2013.
Okay. 2012, 2013, the premiere, that's how long, 8 seasons he was on. Okay, he was a main character all 8 seasons. And after season 8, after what happened to John Diggle, we saw at the end of Crisis that this something fell from the sky, and he went to go look at what it was, opened it up, and there was a green glow. That's all we saw. And everybody assumed that John Diggle Stewart, because his stepdad's name was Stewart, was going to become the Arrowverse's Green Lantern. And now there's been multiple sources saying that they are going to explore that avenue, but they still haven't given a definite that he is going to be Green Lantern. So I'm excited to see this. It's said that he's confirmed to be on Flash for multiple episodes, Supergirl, which is in their last season, I heard.
Yes.
He's supposed to be on the Batwoman show and the Superman and Lois show. So maybe John Diggle is the glue that's going to bring these shows all back together somehow. Because I'll tell you what, from watching Superman and Lois, it doesn't seem right at this moment that it's connected to the other shows. If you watch the show, you understand what I'm talking about. It's not referencing any other hero yet. It hasn't referenced anything. And it has a whole different look.
It has even referenced Crisis, which was huge.
Right.
So,
right.
And not mention something that big.
You know, even in this last week's episode where they did a flashback on one of the characters, they could have tied it to that, but they didn't mention that. So, the CW is doing something different too. The other thing I want to throw into the pot right now is we're 2 weeks away now from
Snyder Cut.
The Snyder Cut Justice League on HBO Max, which I've already taken the day off of work that day, that I'm going to sit. I don't care if it comes on at midnight, 3 a.m., whenever HBO Max premieres this thing, I will be sitting 5 minutes afterwards and ready to watch it. And I'll probably be doing a live stream before I do it, and every hour, because it's supposed to be a 4-hour mini series they're doing it like. And I'll probably be in between each series giving you updates on what I thought. Not spoilers, but what I thought. I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's either a way for them to get people excited again about Justice League in the theaters and those characters, or it's a way for them to bow out gracefully for a reboot, because we've been hearing a lot about a new Superman movie where it might be Calvin Elvis or Val Zod, the Black Superman. We already know that there's The Batman coming out with Robert Pattinson.
Well, the Flash movie's coming.
The Flash movie's coming.
2's coming.
And we also...
Shazam.
Right, Shazam, Black Adam.
Yes.
All these are coming out. And Black Adam also has to tie to Dr. Fate coming into the DCEU. But we also know that they deal heavily, before Marvel even touched it, in the multiverse. Even the movies. So... DC can mess around with things and do different projects, and just like they did with Crisis on CW, they still tied even cinematic stuff into their television shows with the Crisis. So with the rebirth of the multiverse, which I was reading today in an article, that when on Crisis, when they put all the Earths onto Earth Prime, but also this is what I read, that there was a rebirth of a new multiverse. So, I don't know where it's going from there, but we did have a crossover in there with Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller both playing the Flash, coming together. I think it would be cool. They did say that, it is confirmed already, and I've looked at reports, that Martian Manhunter is in the Justice League. Not that he's going to be the cameo, but they said there's going to be an additional cameo at the end of the movie of another superhero. A lot of people are saying it's going to be Supergirl, Green Lantern, or Harley Quinn. They're saying Harley Quinn because of the way she's been going on the good side and things like that, and that she's going to be having her own movie. That's what people are saying, especially
her own movie, yeah, but
especially with the Joker being involved with this Justice League movie.
It wouldn't make sense for how the timeline is right now.
I don't know. Maybe how they have to do it. I don't know. Anyway, on to that. The DCEU, the DC shows, they're doing big things. Pay attention, because anything can change at any time with these things. The way they do things and the way people get thrown off of shows or quit shows. The Batwoman, when we seen it, they had to kill off, what was her name? Cassidy Kane or Karen, or whatever.
I don't know.
I haven't watched one episode. I've said that on the show. I don't plan to, but maybe the new season with a new Batwoman will be better. I don't know. We'll see. And our last subject for today, we're going to talk about something that I didn't really want to talk about on the show. I wanted to keep this a light-hearted, fun show, but this is something that's going a little too crazy right now, is the cancel culture. And recently, this last week, it was talked about that there'll no longer be a
They'll no longer be a Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head, that he'll be gender neutral. I don't even know what that means, because there's a Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, and this is just, it's getting crazy. You had Gina Carano being kicked off The Mandalorian for things that she said. She's part of the cancel culture now. You have people who can't even speak their minds on things, otherwise they're going to get kicked off or something. You have products being taken off the shelves at stores because they have a black person on there, or
Dr. Seuss. The Dr. Seuss. They canceled 6 of their titles due to I think it was racist remarks in the books.
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
I've never heard that in my whole life. About racism. I never heard a black person complain about
stuff like that.
Yeah, I've never heard that. And it's just crazy, because there's a lot more things out there that can be canceled that are considered racist that they don't do. And it's just crazy that we're coming to this point in our culture where we're changing things for the appeasal of a small percentage of the population. Which, let's talk about this real quick. When DC started, DC was out before Timely Comics. Timely Comics became Marvel Comics. When DC started, it was really the white people who were buying comic books. That's why it was catered to the white people. It was catered more to the Jews, the Jewish people, because they were the ones making the comic books. If you look at Superman Kal-El, it's a Jewish name, and it was catered to them. Now, they didn't really start doing a lot of diversity until the 60s. And at the same time, that's when Marvel Comics started to come out of Timely Comics. Stan Lee took over with the Fantastic Four and with the X-Men, and, started doing books like that. And he started in the late 60s and the 70s doing things like Black Panther, Luke Cage. You had the Falcon from Captain America, who's always been black, premiere. There's always been a diversity in comics when it comes to that, and DC's done the same thing, especially with the Latinos. We have Jaime Reyes becoming the Blue Beetle. You've had Jessica Cruz become one of the Green Lanterns, and not just like side characters, but main characters in Spider-Man with Miles Morales, and I can't think of his name now. The Spider-Man
2099. Yes.
Is black also. So, or Spanish.
Something
Spanish.
Like that, yeah.
Miguel Cabrera.
Yep.
Okay. Yes. Sorry. See, brain fart, but I got it. That's why I like my comic culture, because I believe there's a lot of diversity there for everybody, and I don't think anything has to be canceled. And also, there's been a lot of characters with their sexuality and things like that have always been there. To take a character and change who they've been their whole time, sometimes it goes good. I'll give it that. When they changed in the comics to the Ultimate in Marvel and Nick Fury became a black guy, it was great. And who better than...
And the way they tied it as well.
Who better than Samuel L. Jackson to play him? It was like meant for him.
Exactly.
And it was done about 10 to 12 years before they even thought about doing that movie. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be a good thing on some aspects, but I think we've gone crazy with this cancel culture. They've taken, what's the name of the show? Paw Patrol, the cartoon for kids. They took the police dog. I don't know his name. What's his name?
I have no clue.
No, it's not relevant.
Anyway, I was asking my daughter because I thought maybe she would know. But they've taken him off the show because of the police situation with
They really did that?
Yeah, because all last summer with between George Floyd and what's her name?
Breonna Taylor.
Say it again.
Breonna Taylor.
Sorry, I'm not racist. This is my son, okay? So I'm just telling you right now. And for you those listening, I am white. Sean is black, so we can talk about things like this, and he understands where I'm coming from. But I don't want to talk about this on this show. But it's gotten to a point where it's gone too far and too long now that we just need to say, hey, don't take away our stuff. I want my Aunt Jemima pancakes.
Oh my goodness.
I want my Uncle Ben's rice.
It's
right?
true, though. It's true.
You don't
It's
see them
like,
canceling Wendy's because it's a white girl. You don't see them canceling Little Debbie cakes. No.
It's really, it's almost like a controlling thing too, because like, and it sucks because it makes, it's not really you guys like as your generation. It's a lot of our generation. I feel like we're just sensitive to, and it's not a bad thing to be sensitive. You, of course, you want to, watch out for these things. Obviously, if there's something there, take it away. We're not saying that, but to completely disregard something because they had a black color to them or whatever, as long as it's not actually, if it's actually insensitive, take it out. But
Right.
if it's not, don't take it out because
Right.
you feel like people are going to attack that and
Right.
say it's
Right.
this. If anything, instead of canceling that, use that to better the word and use that to spread the word of diversity.
Awesome.
Whatever you're trying
Awesome.
to, cancel, that you're scared of someone taking out of context. Make sure there's context to it. As long as everyone knows, the common people know that there is context to that, and it's not something that's just this, you have to cancel it, then there's no reason for you to just take it away. Again, you want to be sensitive to that thing, but being overly sensitive and thinking about things that most likely will not happen is crazy. And it's all because we have made this culture where if you say or do something wrong and a ton of people disagree with it, or they delegate it as wrong, or you do one wrong thing that's in your past and it comes back to bite you, then you're just canceled. You have no opinion, you have no say, and that's it. And it's very like toxic. It doesn't even make you want to be interested in types of things like this. Like the fact that we discuss comics and stuff like that and we can do it neutrally is great. But you can't always do that with certain people because
Right.
they'll take it to the next level.
Right.
They'll make it like it's their heart and soul, and it can be.
Right.
But it's not meant for people to destroy each other over or completely cancel someone's opinion, or it's meant for these things to be talked about. It's meant for us to
Exactly.
relish about
Exactly.
and to escape into a world, not to escape into toxicity that we already live in.
Great words, my friend. Great words. And we're about to wrap it up, but there's one more thing I want to bring up. This Friday, also premiering, is Coming to America, Part 2. Great movie. I made my son watch it this week. I know for me, it's like been 25 years since the first one. It's a great movie. It's one of these movies that has gone on to be a family movie that you can sit down and watch. They've taken certain parts out on television, of course, but it's still a great movie. So excited to see those characters come back and look at that too. So don't forget this weekend, check out that Coming to America 2 exclusively on Amazon Prime. So this is what we talk about here on Everything and Chill, is all the streaming services, all the television shows, everywhere that's going down. If you don't know where to find anything, you could always look it up on Google, but all the shows that we've been talking about tonight can be found on the CW, the CW Seed, HBO Max, and Amazon Prime. And we didn't talk about anything. Disney Plus for WandaVision. So, and I'll put those all up here, and you will be able to see where to get them from in links. And we thank you so much for joining us for the Everything and Chill show. I'm Rob, and this is
Sean Montero.
And we will talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
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 Okay, see you later.